Hey guys, welcome back to the Paper Lion. It's Gypsy. I am wanting to welcome you guys back. I am knee deep in it today. I am recording a lot of videos to scatter out during this upcoming week because I'm going back to work, and so I want to have a little kickstart so that I won't be so behind when I do get back to work and homeschooling. But anyway, guys, what we're going to do today is make these what are they called? Specimen cards. You can call them faux specimen cards if you want to, because they're just a take on a specimen card. Anyway, if you guys were here for my haul video, you saw me pull out this book of North American Birds by Reader's Digest. If you don't have this book, you might have something similar to it with like specimens in it, you know, like birds or plants or insects or something, and you have images, and then of course you have like the description of them, maybe the region, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And as always, when I show you guys how to make something on my channel, I do try to come back and show you how to use it. If you guys were here, you saw me make, you saw the splatter technique that I used on this one. If you have not seen that video, I will link it in the comments. I will link it in the description, so you can go back and see basically what I did to get these cool little effects. Now, what I did also, I know a lot of you guys don't have the bingo cards, which is fine. You don't necessarily need a bingo card. You can use chipboard, and what I did was I just kind of took a large stamp and kind of stamped on here for you know, to give it, you know, a little bit of the same kind of background effect. This of course is a little darker, more grungy, because this was like chipboard that I got from some stamps. But if you don't have that, you can also use just regular plain cereal box. You know, if you're using if you have cereals, crackers, whatever, you can just cut that down to the size that you want, stamp it up, use a little bit of that grunge technique, that spray splatter technique that I showed you, and let's get started. And I will show you, I don't know if you can see on here, but I also created another little technique using the technique that I showed you guys. So I will, before long, record another video showing you how you can get a little bit extra out of that grunge splatter technique that I showed you guys. Anyway, with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to be doing 3 on camera here with you today, depending on how long I think this video is going, because once I do one, it's already pretty much self-explanatory. I'm just going to pick out the ones that I want. I think I wanted to do this black-throated gray warbler, and I love this peregrine falcon. I actually rescued one of these probably about 20 years ago. I was working at a place, and there was one that was injured in the back, and so I went out and captured it, and I called the wild bird sanctuary that we had locally, and they came and they picked it up and took it to where it would live in the sanctuary with the other other birds, and what I think they're called raptors, you know, those type of birds that really a lot of people cannot, here in Texas, have for pets. I've rescued that. We also rescued an owl. Me and my girls, we have videos from where we rescued an owl and took it to another sanctuary that we have locally. But anyway, so the peregrine falcon is near and dear to my heart, and we see in the area that I live in, we do have a lot of those. Okay, and then since I'm going to use that larger piece, I think I'm going to go for a larger one back here. I think maybe the ivory-billed woodpecker. This is, excuse me, I think I will go with that one, because this one is also, woodpeckers are also something that's close to me, because when I was in elementary, my last name has the word wood in it, and what my friends would call me was Woody Woodpecker. Go figure. So that was my elementary, one of my elementary nicknames. Another one was Motorcycle. If you want to know more about the backstory on that nickname, just let me know and I'll tell you guys in the next video. But yeah, they used to call me Woody Woodpecker. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I actually kind of liked it, you know, when you're in elementary or whatever. Stuff like that is cool to you. But anyway, so we're going to do some fussy cutting, you know, kind of roughly fussy cut. I am going to isolate some of these things. I think I'm going to tear them just so that they can have a little bit of extra drama, you know, some texture on the edges. You know, it's cool to have a little bit of drama, and I like to create that by moving my ruler back and forth as I tear. And I'm going to tear that just above that red line because I like that red line, and I think that red line will look really good. All right, and we're going to get this edge also. And it's easier if you're going to tear down like this to just keep it all in place instead of going through and then trying to tear this little bit of edge. At least now it has something, you know, to hold on to while you're tearing it. Guys, I have a fruit fly in here and he is driving me batty. And I'm probably going to use this little image as well. So let's get some of this. I don't know how much I'm going to use in these, but you know, it's best to have it. You can go back and save the description of like their habitat and stuff for later if you want to. Excuse me. On the back of the cards that I'm using, I don't think I have, well, I probably can on the larger one, the larger chipboard, but on the other one, I don't have, because I also want to leave a space for, you know, people to, you know, write something if they want to. They can tell a little story about the bird, you know, then they can also prompts them to do research on the bird, and then they too then can also write down their own little findings for the bird. Now we're just going to make sure that we do keep the stuff together with the actual bird it belongs to, because we'd hate to be giving the wrong kind of information for the bird. Okay, so at this point I am just going to go and cut out this. I am going to cut it with its genus, its like Latin name. But with this one, of course, we're going to have to cut it at a weird angle so that we don't cut the bird, which is fine because, you know, anything can be cut the way you want, and it just gives it a little bit of, that'll give it a little bit of pizzazz. And so I'm just going to go cut around here, and I am going to go ahead and fussy cut everything on speed for you guys. You can see me cutting it, but I'm going to be doing it, you know, faster. That way you guys don't have to watch me fussy cut everything. All right, so I am going to do that now. Hey guys, we're back, and I've got a nice little mess over here. Let's just throw some of that to the side so that we can move on. Okay, we're going to do the first two, these first two first, and then we're going to move on with the smaller ones. Let's go ahead and ink that. Actually, I should have went ahead and inked it while I was doing that, so you guys didn't have to watch all this, but this will go pretty fast, so I'm going to subject you guys to it anyway. Oh, at this point, I can ask you, how are you doing? And if you have something like this, you can always go back and color it in to make it look a little bit more colored, depending on, you know, what you're doing, because since this is mostly black and white, you can definitely go back and add, you know, add something to it later. Okay, so we are basically going to just add this down, and I mean, so very simple. But I love how much drama and background noise this technique brings to your projects. And of course, if you wanted to, you could throw a little bit of book page down back there. Let me see if I have any close by. I don't, but of course, you know, you guys can jazz it up however you want to. I didn't add any book page. Actually, you could go back through and add some of that, give a little snippet of the bird that way if you wanted to add to yours. But I'm keeping mine more on the simple way of life. And the only bad thing about this for me is that I have to decide which of the birds I'm actually going to use. Because, you know, all of the images are front to back. So when I choose one beautiful bird, I also have to get rid of a beautiful bird. So now we got that on the front, and making sure we have the right stuff to go with this bird. We're just going to go ahead and add a little bit of ink to that. And we will place this on here however it will fit. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just trying to get the information on there so that it actually is a specimen card. So we're going to go lengthwise with this one. Let's see. Make sure that this, because this one happens to be the same thing on both sides. So just make sure you keep that in order. Okay, male gray above. So this is the side that I want up. Don't want to hide the true information, because let's not be out here giving people false information. I didn't realize that when I was first doing it, that those pieces actually do line up instead of, you know, the birds lining up. I wish in the world that they had altered the placement. I mean, of course, when they make those books, they're not thinking of people coming through and cutting it apart, you know, so I really cannot, you know, be upset with that too much. And we're going to just overlap this just a little bit, just so it gets in there. And I was... Is this, oh, this is actually, is this a grouse? More like grouse than warbler. Oops, so there's two different warblers. This is the yellow rumped warbler. Okay, so this one does not have a yellow rump. So we know it is not that one. It is in fact this one. Okay. Yikes. You really have to be careful. So now we know, oh my god, this fruit fly is getting on my nerves. We know that there is a yellow rumped warbler too. So that might be something for you guys to research on your own. So we're just going to add this to where it overlaps but does not take away from the actual information. Got a little bit of ink around there to finish that off. And now that way they still have space on there to write if they want to add a little bit about the bird, the state that it comes from, that kind of stuff, just to make your little journals a little bit more interactive. I didn't ink these. Run some ink on that really quick. And then we're going to move on to the second one. Same thing with this. We are using this beautiful peregrine falcon on this one. If you guys have a fly swatter, I know I have one in the kitchen. Please hit this fruit fly so he can leave me alone. Oh my God, they're so annoying. Gotta go make a solution to catch his little behind. I haven't done it yet, but I bought some potatoes the other day that I'm going to be cooking tonight, and I absolutely hate it when I buy produce and it brings somebody home with it. That, like, I only want the potatoes. I don't want the extra, but of course I got the extra. Okay, that's my drama here today. All right, and let's go ahead and put this down. Put my this down first. That way, if it has to be overlapped a little bit, it can. Oh, I probably should have. Let's see if this glue glues so quickly. Let's see, how can we place him? Okay, we're gonna do him down first and just overlap him. Look at that beautiful bird that we had to lose on the background. Very pretty bird that is. Let me see if I can see what he is. That is a merlin. This bird right here is called a merlin. Okay. There are people out there who do bird watching. If you guys know of this bird, let me know. And if you don't, take a few minutes to learn about him. It's called a merlin. I wonder if he's a wizard. Alright, and now we're going to have to go with this. Yeah, a merlin. A Falco columbarius. Falco columbarius. Alright. And then we'll just... There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Tear a little bit of that off of there. Make sure we got the right bird. That's the only part that I'm not liking, is I got to make sure I have the right bird. Streaked and barred with brown below, tail dark and light gray bands. That's not helping me, guys. Let's see. What does this one say? Large with pointed wings, broad black stripe below eye, adult slate gray with whitish or buff barred with black below. Ew. brownish above, heavily streaked below. I'm going to say this is reddish brown. This one's a hard one, guys, so I'm just gonna have to take a guess. It says that it has a broad black stripe below the eye, so it does have a black, is that a stripe? With pointed wings. Oh my god, guys, they all have pointed wings. Slate gray, whitish or buff barred. Oh my god. On this one, I'm just going to go ahead with the side that I already inked. I cannot believe I made that mistake, but you know what? It is gonna be okay. Hopefully someone will go and do their own research. And if this doesn't match, they'll come back and say, hey, Gypsy, what was this? They do know where to find me. Okay, so making sure that we have the right one. That way, I think I was kind of keeping it upward. So since that was the side that was already up and I inked it, I'm going to just assume that I knew what I was doing by leaving that up. This one also says city cliff dwelling peregrines nest on city skyscrapers. This one says cliffs in open country or near water, also on buildings in cities. So I'm going to say that I picked the right one and move it on. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, and so now with this one, this is our last one for today. This is a rather large one. So let me just go ahead and ink this one up. Okay, and I didn't want to lose any of that drama. So with this one, I am going to continue it on the back and just kind of wrap it around a little bit, hoping that it doesn't interfere. If it does, I'll just place the description on the other side. So I'm going to actually get the bird down first to see where I need to go with the other stuff. Just going to create a space for all this extra beautiful drama. Okay, so now we're going to put this one like this. We're going to bring it close to the top so that we have a place to put that. Okay, let's go ahead. Look at that beautiful bird. That bird is the, let's see, it doesn't really tell the name in this little description. So this was it was another type of woodpecker. Yeah, it was another type of woodpecker. Let's see if it says in there. I'm not going to go into detail, obviously. Oh, it says the few black-backed woodpeckers. So I don't know. Didn't catch the name of it. And this one didn't have all the extra stuff that the other ones did. It did like have the city. But because this one is larger and I knew it was going to overlap, I didn't worry about putting the little map on this one. It didn't have the extra little picture of it because it was such a large one on the page. It didn't do all that. If you were looking while I was cutting, you'll see why I didn't cut all the extra off there. Okay, so we're just going to place this where we want it. Okay. And with this extra, we are just going to bring it around. Now they have even more space to do some research on this one and write it down if they want to, or if they've actually cited this bird out in, like, if you're going to put this in like a bird journal or something like that, and they love birds and they're a bird watcher or something, they can write in here where they may have or may not have spotted this bird. All right, guys, let's look and see what we created today with these beautiful specimen cards. Love, love, love this peregrine falcon. So we got his image, his genus name, his common name, and then his information on the back. Same with the black-throated gray warbler. And I think that grunge technique on the back really makes them pop off of this little card. I think that grunge technique, for me, if you're using white, I think it really looks good on a dark backdrop. And there's his information. And then here we have this beautiful card right here, this specimen card that we made with the ivory-billed woodpecker, and of course his information is on the back as well. All right, guys, well, if you like this tutorial, please leave me a thumbs up. If you're new here and you'd like to see some more of my content, feel free to subscribe. I encourage you to subscribe because it does not take anything but the click of a button, and then you can be here for when I bring the other fun techniques or tutorials that I do. I do many things on this channel, so there's always something new. Anyway, guys, until the next video, bye!